Late Night with the Devil and Alex Jones. The sinister truth behind the 2023 horror film.
Here's Mr. Midnight, Jack Delroy! Oh, good evening, night owls, and thank you for allowing me into your living rooms once again.
Greetings, fiends. Today I'm doing something a bit different for the Horror Mike channel by covering a relatively new film from 2023 called Late Night with the Devil, written and directed by brothers Cameron and Colin Cairns. To begin with, Late Night with the Devil is a rare, good 21st century horror film. The story is solid and nuanced with good direction, acting, and production values. And as most horror hounds know by now, it's a film set in 1970s America, but in reality made in Australia by a total Aussie cast with the exception of the main star, David Desmelchin, in the role of late-night talk show host Jack Delroy. Warning, spoilers ahead. Late Night with the Devil plot. The date is October 31st, 1977. Johnny Carson rival Jack Delroy hosts a syndicated talk show called Night Owls that has long been a trusted companion to insomniacs around the country. A year after the tragic death of Jack's wife, Millie, ratings have plummeted. Desperate to turn his fortunes around, Jack plans a Halloween special like no other, unaware he is about to unleash evil into the living rooms of America. Horror with a message? The first time I watched Late Night with the Devil, I thought it was an above-average horror film by 21st century standards. That's not saying much considering how bad 21st century horror films typically are. However, something in my gut told me I needed to go back and re-watch it, and I'm glad I did, because whether or not the filmmakers intended it, there's a real message behind Late Night with the Devil. We met amongst the tall trees. One of Jack Delroy's guests on the Halloween show is a teenager known as Lily, the sole survivor of a satanic cult. Lily is supposedly possessed by a demon, and we see more and more evidence of this possession as the film progresses. At one point, Lily, channeling the demon, turns to Delroy and implies they've met before. Delroy denies this, and Lily tells him not to be a fool.
We go way back,
she growls.
We met amongst the tall trees.
Lily / the demon is referring to the fact that our affable late-night talk show host is secretly a member of the sinister organization called The Grove, who meet in Northern California amongst the tall trees every year to eat, drink, perform strange rituals, and to make the occasional deal with the devil, or at least one of his minions. You see, Jack Delroy isn't a good guy after all. He went to the Grove, and one night amongst the tall trees, he struck a deal with the devil to become world famous. During the show, Lily foreshadows the impending nightmare.
And you needn't worry about your TV show. I think you're going to be very famous soon.
And indeed, when all hell breaks loose live on Night Owls, with the Lily Demon murdering guests, crew, and audience members, Jack Delroy has unwittingly become forever famous, for all the wrong reasons. Delroy's sacrifice to Satan. When Jack Delroy went to the Grove and made a deal amongst the tall trees, he agreed to a sacrifice, and that sacrifice was his wife Millie, who contracted cancer and died shortly thereafter. But being the deceiver, Satan wasn't satisfied with a mere sacrifice. Like most dumb humans clamoring for fame, Delroy made a deal to be famous, and he was made famous, in the most terrifying way possible, live on his Night Owls show. At the very end, he is forced to confront his mortal sin, which was sacrificing his own wife at the altar of vanity and fame.
They told you you could have it all, didn't they? Be number one. Well, you finally made it, darling. But you had to pay a price.
In reality, Late Night with the Devil comes across as a parable about avarice and greed. As a horror film, it works very well. As a timeless and very important message, it works even better. The Bohemian Grove. So where did the Cairns brothers come up with the idea for Late Night with the Devil and the mysterious grove of which our protagonist Jack Delroy is a member? The answer lies in a bed of facts and speculation. The Bohemian Grove is a restricted 2,700-acre campground in Monte Rio, California. Founded in 1878, apparently Ambrose Bierce was a co-founder. It belongs to a private gentlemen's organization known as the Bohemian Club. In mid-July each year, the Bohemian Grove hosts a more than 2-week encampment of some of the most prominent men in the world. Famous people including former presidents such as Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan, and members of the Bush family are counted among the many of the global elite connected to the Grove. Rumors have swirled that arcane, sinister rituals are performed at the Grove, and indeed, reporters such as Alex Jones have successfully snuck into the event and recorded some incredible footage. Late Night with the Devil and Alex Jones. From Alex Jones' documentary called Dark Secrets, released in the year 2000, his own video footage records the black and silver-robed Grove members conducting an occult ritual wherein they worship a giant stone owl, sacrificing a human being in effigy to what they call the Great Owl of Bohemia, night owls. Now that is some weird stuff, but it falls short of people making sacrifices to Satan or making deals amongst the tall trees. That being said, it wouldn't surprise me if more sinister things took place at the Grove, and it certainly would not surprise me if the Cairns brothers were directly influenced by Alex Jones' documentary on the Bohemian Grove. I've read several interviews with the Cairns brothers, and neither the Bohemian Grove or Alex Jones are mentioned. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, please like and subscribe. Thank you.